Imagine a group of friends gathered around a single delicious donut. The question arises, who should get the treat? At first glance, it might seem obvious to split the donut or give it to the person who wants it most. But what if we pause and consider the situation more deeply? This playful scenario invites us to challenge our assumptions about fairness and happiness within a group. By examining the choices we make in simple moments like this, we begin to uncover the complexities behind what truly benefits everyone. As we explore this dilemma, we set the stage for questioning the conventional wisdom that prioritizes group happiness above all else. The concept of maximizing happiness for the greatest number is rooted in the philosophy of utilitarianism. This principle suggests that actions should be evaluated based on their ability to increase overall well-being within a community. Many people view this approach as logical and fair, since it prioritizes the collective good over individual interests. In practice, policies and decisions guided by this idea aim to create the most benefit for the largest group possible. However, while the principle often serves as a foundation for ethical reasoning in society, it can also raise questions about how minority interests are addressed. Balancing the happiness of the majority with fairness for all remains a central challenge in applying this philosophy. Utilitarianism is a philosophical approach to ethics that centers on the idea of maximizing overall happiness and minimizing suffering. Its roots can be traced back to the late 18th century, when Jeremy Bentham first articulated the concept. Bentham envisioned morality as something that could be measured and calculated, much like a science. He proposed that the rightness of an action depends on its ability to produce the greatest good for the greatest number. This innovative perspective challenged traditional views of morality, emphasizing outcomes over intentions. Bentham's utilitarian framework laid the foundation for later thinkers and continues to influence ethical discussions today. Utilitarian thinking, which focuses on maximizing overall happiness or benefit, plays a significant role in shaping public policy. Governments often use utilitarian principles when allocating resources, aiming to achieve the greatest good for the largest number of people. In the business world, companies may adopt utilitarian approaches to guide ethical decisions, such as weighing the benefits and drawbacks of a new product or service. Everyday group choices, like deciding how to spend community funds or organize events, are also frequently influenced by utilitarian reasoning. This widespread impact demonstrates how utilitarianism helps individuals and organizations navigate complex decisions by considering the broader consequences of their actions. One significant criticism of utilitarian moral reasoning is its tendency to overlook individual rights in favor of maximizing overall happiness. By focusing on the greatest good for the greatest number, utilitarianism can inadvertently justify actions that harm minorities or single individuals if such actions benefit the majority. This approach risks enabling forms of tyranny where the interests of the few are sacrificed for the perceived happiness of the many. Critics argue that this flaw undermines the protection of personal freedoms and ethical safeguards, which are essential in a just society. The challenge lies in balancing collective well-being with respect for individual rights, a tension that utilitarianism often struggles to resolve. Imagine a group of friends deciding which movie to watch. If most prefer action films, the minority who enjoy documentaries are consistently overruled, leaving their preferences ignored. Similarly, consider a tech company implementing a new feature based on majority feedback. While most users benefit, a small group with unique needs may find the product less accessible. These examples highlight how utilitarian logic, which aims to maximize overall happiness, can inadvertently disadvantage minorities. By prioritizing the greatest good for the greatest number, the voices and well-being of smaller groups are often overlooked. This raises important questions about fairness and inclusion in decision-making processes. The concept of the tyranny of the majority, refers to a situation where the preferences or interests of a larger group override and potentially oppress those of smaller or minority groups. In the context of utilitarianism, which seeks the greatest happiness for the greatest number, this issue becomes particularly pronounced. Utilitarianism does not inherently provide mechanisms to protect minority rights or prevent the majority from imposing its will. As a result, decisions made solely on utilitarian grounds can sometimes lead to unjust outcomes for those who are outnumbered. This lack of safeguards raises important ethical concerns about fairness and the potential for abuse of power. Philosophers and critics argue that without additional principles or protections, utilitarianism may inadvertently legitimize actions that harm vulnerable populations. The second critical flaw centers on the challenge of quantifying happiness and the inherently subjective nature of well-being. Unlike physical measurements, happiness cannot be precisely calculated or universally defined. Individual experiences, cultural backgrounds, and personal values all influence how people perceive and report their own well-being. This variability makes it difficult to compare happiness across different groups or societies. As a result, any attempt to measure or maximize happiness is fraught with uncertainty and potential bias. The subjective nature of well-being raises important questions about the reliability of data and the validity of conclusions drawn from such measurements. Attempting to measure happiness in real-life decisions often leads to unexpected complications. The idea of assigning numerical values to our feelings or moral choices can seem appealing, but it quickly becomes impractical. Human experiences are complex, and happiness is influenced by countless factors that resist simple calculation. Moral spreadsheets designed to weigh pros and cons or predict outcomes cannot capture the nuances of emotion, relationships, or personal growth. This approach risks reducing rich, meaningful moments to mere data points. Ultimately, the pursuit of happiness involves intuition, empathy, and context, qualities that numbers alone cannot reflect. Throughout history, the phrase "the greater good" has often been invoked by leaders and decision-makers to justify controversial choices. While it suggests a commitment to collective well-being, this language can be manipulated to mask actions that primarily serve personal or organizational interests. By framing decisions as morally certain and beneficial for all, those in power may sidestep scrutiny and suppress dissent. This rhetorical strategy can create an illusion of ethical clarity even when the true motives are self-serving. Recognizing this misuse is crucial for understanding how moral narratives can be shaped to legitimize questionable actions. Many people assume that happiness is the highest aim in life, but is it truly the ultimate goal? When we reflect on our most meaningful experiences, they often involve sacrifice, perseverance, and a sense of purpose rather than simple pleasure. Moments of challenge, commitment, and even hardship can leave a deeper impact than fleeting happiness. These experiences shape our values and contribute to a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond immediate gratification. Perhaps then, a meaningful life is not defined solely by happiness, but by the pursuit of purpose and the willingness to make sacrifices for what matters most. While pleasure is undeniably a part of human experience, it is far from the sole motivator of our actions. People often pursue meaning and purpose, seeking fulfillment in relationships, creativity, and personal growth. These deeper aspirations cannot be fully explained by the pursuit of pleasure alone. Utilitarianism, with its focus on maximizing happiness or minimizing suffering, tends to overlook the profound ways in which individuals strive for significance and connection. Human existence is shaped by values, commitments, and a desire to contribute to something greater than oneself. By reducing motivation to pleasure, utilitarianism misses the complexity and richness of what it means to be human. Reducing morality to a single formula can be dangerously misleading. Such oversimplification ignores the complexities of ethical dilemmas and the diverse values held by different individuals and cultures. When morality is treated as a one-size-fits-all solution, it risks marginalizing minority perspectives and justifying harmful actions under the guise of majority approval. This is why it is crucial to design systems that safeguard individual rights, ensuring that no person is left vulnerable to the will of the majority. By recognizing the limitations of simplistic moral frameworks, we can create more just and inclusive societies that respect and protect everyone. An alternative approach to morality emphasizes the importance of individual rights and the prevention of suffering. Rather than reducing ethical decisions to mere calculations, these frameworks recognize the inherent dignity of each person. They seek to protect individuals from being treated as numbers on a spreadsheet, where personal stories and unique circumstances might be overlooked. By prioritizing compassion and justice, such moral perspectives aim to defend people against systems that could otherwise disregard their well-being. Ultimately, these frameworks advocate for a more humane and thoughtful way of making ethical choices. As we conclude, it's important to recognize the enduring significance of individual rights in shaping our society. Reflecting on these concepts encourages thoughtful discussion and a deeper understanding of their impact on our daily lives. Your perspectives and experiences are valuable, so we invite you to share your thoughts and insights in the comments. If there are topics you would like to see explored or deconstructed in future segments, please let us know. Together, we can continue to foster meaningful dialogue and promote the principles that support personal freedom and responsibility.